Hello, thank you so much for being here. I hope you're doing great. I hope you are staying safe and you are healthy. And thank you so much for tuning in into this reading. And today we are going to see what your spirit guides have to tell you about your past lifetime. So we totally have four groups. This is group number one, this is group number two, this is group number three, and this is group number four. For group number one, we have amethyst. For group number two, we have selenite. For group number three, we have rose quartz. And for group number four, we have sodalite. So pick a card, pick a number, pick a stone, do whatever works best for you, and let's get started. Group number one, or amethyst. Okay, group number one. So for you, we have health card, we have Knight of Wands, we have Five of Wands reversed, we have Eight of Wands, we have Giza, we have healing, we have Kali, endings and beginnings, we have awareness, we have Ten of Swords reversed, we have Nine of Pentacles, we have Three of Pentacles, and we have Nine of Wands. So the very first thing that I see is that the energy, the spirit that comes to tell about your past life is someone who has a very witty nature, someone who is quite energetic, quite fun, quite interesting, and it has almost like those energy flushes, energy boosts. Maybe you feel a sudden rush of energy from time to time, or you feel that immediately, maybe even something like a wind, blowing past you, and you getting this warmth in you, or it seems and feels very familiar. This is the spirit that is around you from time to time, sending this is how they are sending the message to you. And this spirit, this energy that comes to show and tell about your past life is someone who you have been very close with in this past lifetime. It seems like this spirit, it could be that this was your sister or your very good friend. This is someone who always stood by your side, someone who was very loyal to you. And I don't know why, but I'm getting also this familiar energy, like you had something similar, or you still have someone similar to this energy in this lifetime as well. It's like this energy is very familiar and very well known to you. It's not like, if you resonate with this group, you would probably from the very first words that being said, you would know what I'm talking about. The spirit, this energy, you would understand it from from the go. This spirit is very, as I mentioned, energetic, has a lot of boost vitality in them. They could act a little bit mischievous at times because they want you to get out of your comfort zone, because they want you to try new things. And it seems like also this spirit wants you to get out of your comfort zone and maybe to try something different, to also to be more in touch with your heart, rather than just focus maybe on things you want to achieve in material aspects, because maybe in the past lifetime you were more focused on your for some, I'm hearing actually looks and money. But for others, it could be just you didn't really paid more attention to what your heart needs in regards of relationships and connections. So I feel like this spirit wants to encourage you to be more open to love connections, romantic connections. And also this is the spirit that would support you and actually are supporting you at times when you're feeling down or you're lacking self-love. They are around, and they are kind of sending you like beautiful thoughts, or maybe you feeling sad and you turn on the radio and there is this song that speaks about how beautiful you are or how amazing you are or something like that. So this is their way of trying to communicate with you and trying to send you messages. I'm also sensing that the spirit is very quick to come and go. So even though it's very familiar to you, this energy and this feel when they are around, you might not always understand what it is, or you may need a time to understand what it is. You need a time. You got to know this spirit and this energy over the years. So in the past lifetime, it looks like you have been someone who was very, very beautiful, but maybe in this lifetime you either forgot that, or for some reason you don't even kind of consider yourself beautiful. But in the past lifetime, I see that you have been very, very beautiful. You are someone who would just grab people's attention, and they would be amazed because you are very charismatic, overall, like very stunning, very captivating. You had very intense look in your eyes. Your eyes probably have been very intense, and maybe you have this intensity in your eyes in this lifetime as well. It seems like you either traveled a lot or you have been in places, maybe you are forced to be in places that weren't very familiar to you, or were very like unknown to you. And because of this, it could go two ways actually. You could be very afraid of trying to travel, or of trying to put yourself in unfamiliar places. You would never travel alone, for instance, or overall you're actually very keen on traveling and very keen on getting to know a lot of different things and a lot of different cultures, because you feel like the world is one big place and there's not really any lines here, or it's like it's one culture and it's one race for you overall. It seems like because it's not just because you're very beautiful, but because you had some sort of talent. And by the way, I'm getting more feminine energy, so you probably been a woman, but could be just overall a lot of feminine energy that you had in your past lifetime. So not just because you were very beautiful, but because you had some sort of talent, you performed or you showed something to crowds of people. I'm seeing crowds and they are looking at you and they are admiring you and they are appreciating what you say or what you show. But it's more like you show something, it's like a skill. It could be that also you were, I don't know the exact word, it's not a seeker, but like follower or worshipper even of some sort of goddess or deity. It's like you would like have not sacrifices, but maybe in those times like you would gather people around you to worship some goddess or deity. I don't know how to put it. It's like you worshiping or you following and inspiring others to follow someone else, but that someone else is not like other person, but it's more like a goddess or even a god. The age that I'm seeing here from these cards, I'm seeing like ancient times, really ancient times, like around the time when maybe pyramids were built, historically speaking, or when Egypt had their golden age or something like that. I'm seeing this period when people believed in magic, when people believed in gods and goddesses, when people believed that the world is a magical place. And actually I'm also seeing that you also possessed a certain magic in you, and maybe you weren't a practicing witch, for instance, but you certainly had a lot of power in you. For some, it could have been a trouble because people were afraid of you a little bit. But overall, I'm seeing that mostly people were looking at you because of your outside, because how you look on the outside, how you look externally, because of your beauty. You had very beautiful hair, very full hair. I'm also seeing that you are very plastic in the way you move. Maybe you were a dancer, or again, some sort of performer. But definitely I'm seeing ways of witches, doing magic. Maybe you performed some rituals for this goddess that you followed and worshipped, so perhaps it was mandatory for you to do some rituals, magical rituals. But yeah, that's definitely here. You could lived in Egypt, as I mentioned, Mesopotamia. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right there, or also I'm kind of sensing a little bit of England, Scotland, so perhaps also there, but mostly I'm getting more like places where is warm. We have Kali here. She could be your goddess that is trying to guide you in this lifetime, or she could have been goddess that guided you in your past lifetime. So also maybe you had a past lifetime in perhaps India or somewhere around there, but overall I'm getting ancient times. And if you feel in this lifetime attracted to one of the places that I mentioned, this is probably the place that you actually lived before. That is because you have this need maybe to visit it again, or for instance, if you feel very triggered by that country or that place, that also could be an indication that you live there and maybe something went a little bit wrong. I'm sensing that in this lifetime you kind of haven't found love and true fulfillment in a way, and that really makes me sad because I'm kind of getting this rush of sadness and nostalgia, because you haven't found someone, or well, it's not that you haven't found someone, but you couldn't be with that person. I'm getting more, it's like you couldn't have this fulfillment, this fulfilling relationship connection that your heart longed for, or maybe you even didn't understand at that time that you wanted and you needed. I'm sensing that in this lifetime it's a little bit hard for you maybe to start new things or to let go of the things that are not really good for you anymore. And this is why this energy of endings and beginnings comes, because you need to know when it's time to move on and when the fight is over, when it's time for you to just kind of go. I'm also sensing that you need to work more on your third eye chakra and overall to get more in tune with that magical side of yours, because you really have it. I'm getting patience. Also, there is a skill, this is Three of Pentacles, this is a skill that you still haven't yet fully developed, or even are not aware that you have it. And this is the skill that could really make your life complete and become like your life purpose and mission in this lifetime. But this comes from your past lifetime. From past lifetime, it seems like you brought relatively good health, and if you feel like you don't have good health, it could be because you're not following your true purpose and your true like you don't use your gifts fully. And if you feel like you lacking health, of course, maybe you don't resonate with this reading, so that's another thing. But if you are, it could be that your health is not good when you talk yourself down, and overall your health problems is caused by your throat chakra. So that being you talking something bad about yourself, about your health, or overall talking a lot of negative things that causes you to attract health issues. But overall, from the kind of core, from the base, you should have good health. And overall, you should be quite abundant and prosperous. It's in the cards for you, but you need to be more aware of what you attract in your life. Because sometimes you just close your eyes and not look and not see the signs and all of the omens that are everywhere, and cards suggest, spirit guides suggest that you need to. Another way how this spirit from this past lifetime communicates with you is it could be through flickering lights. Overall, another thing that I'm seeing that you could be good, or could have this potential of communicating with past people who crossed over. Especially if you connecting more to this part of the reading of witchy ways, witchy part. And yeah, it seems like you should not be afraid to start something new when the doors are opening for you. That will be beneficial. And another also message that I'm getting here now, looking at these cards, it actually could be that you had two lifetimes, like one right after another almost, and in one you met your soulmate, your true other part, you had the connection, you separated, and there was another lifetime when you tried to kind of reunite, to have that union, but again something did not work out. And it could be that this is the third time when you need to work on that, work on those blockages maybe that you have in love, and work on overall your relationships. You need to work on releasing old and inviting and accepting new things. Yeah, but overall I'm seeing that you were very beautiful in your past lifetime. You had quite a few talents and you were admired and appreciated. You also have been very seductive, so you used men for, what you want and what you need. That's possible. You might also see quite a few birds around you, or birds. They could actually be your spirit animal from past lifetime. Okay, let's get a few crystal beads, okay? Okay. Let's get way too much, but okay. Okay, so we have white onyx, we have shungite, we have agate, we have amazonite, and we have lapis lazuli. So lapis lazuli, this stone connects to goddess energy. It connects with intuition, psychic abilities, true power. So definitely I'm sensing that you had some sort of connection with gods and goddesses, or had been worshiper or follower or something like that, or just very gifted overall with intuition. With amazonite, I'm also seeing that you had very fiery and very fierce nature, very feisty. You had a lot of strength to you. You have been like a warrior, almost like, in certain situations, and you always fought for what you believe, or you always got your way, maybe because you were so beautiful. I'm kind of sensing that you still had your feet on the ground, even though you were intuitive, you were psychic, you had your witchy ways, you still had your feet on the ground when you needed to. I'm also getting a message that you felt the need to protect yourself from someone or something. So maybe you have been haunted for your ways, or you have been haunted because of your beauty, but there is this energy of trying to escape, almost like something. I'm seeing this from the stones, from the crystals, so you might resonate with this or not. Take what resonates and leave the rest out. I'm also seeing that you kind of felt a turmoil within you, and this kind of explains this card, Five of Wands. Why spirit guide, the spirit that comes from the past lifetime, wants you to inspire, have this balance between endings and beginnings, because you kind of balanced and juggled those things. You had turmoil within you, with goodness and almost like with darkness, with light and dark. So you might find yourself at certain moments in this lifetime struggling with that as well. But also you could be the kind of person in this lifetime as well who really knows how to shine light when everything seems very dark. Yeah. I think that's it, group number 1. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Okay, group number 2, or selenite. Okay, group number 2. So your cards are Beauty, Hierophant, Magician, Moon Reversed, 5 of Earth or 5 of Pentacles, Mount Kenya, Varanasi, Ostara, Fertility, Clarity, 2 of Swords, Emperor, and Empress. So we have actually quite interesting cards here, and the energy that I'm picking up, I will talk about spirits right away, but I want to mention that because later I forget. I'm sensing mostly that you actually were someone who kind of got rich, almost like you were someone who maybe lived quite poorly in your past lifetime. You maybe didn't have much, but then somehow, and we will explore that going further, but somehow you ended up living almost like very rich castle like life. This almost like seems like Cinderella story, but yeah. So the spirit cards that coming through, not one, but a few. It seems like you had a few protectors in your past lifetime, this past lifetime that we are picking up on here. You had someone who really wished you well, someone who guided you, someone who helped you to manifest all of the things that you got later in life. But for some reason, it seems like these, especially this one energy that I'm picking up, it could be a man, could be a woman. This energy, it seems like they were very powerful in their ways of understanding things and actually at manifesting things even. This person could have been a priest or someone who practiced a certain, like this person could have been religious, they could have been a priest, or believed in certain system, that ideology, and kind of have been a head of that ideology. So this is the kind of spirit that is really strong and really powerful, and especially is powerful in certain areas and certain aspects, and that can be true for you in also certain aspects in your life in this lifetime. Maybe you are religious, or opposite, you're not religious at all because you don't agree with the spirit, and the spirit tries to inspire you to be more religious, or you actually are quite religious, or you believe in some system or some ideology. Maybe you're just a hard believer in law of attraction. That also could be the case. But yeah, I'm sensing more like priest, but also like occult. I don't know why I'm getting these two very actually opposite energies, but yeah. So in this lifetime you could be quite religious and or be interested in occult or in Wicca. This spirit, or a few spirits actually, guided you through that lifetime and helped you to kind of find your way out of the dark forest I'm seeing. And because of these spirits, it wasn't only you who helped yourself, almost like, to become to get to that place of being abundant and prosperous and materially Well, it was also these spirits at that time. I feel like they were people. They helped you to get to that point. I'm also sensing that when you got into that position, and for many of you, I know that will sound like from the movie or from the tale, but you probably got with the king or someone who was high authority at that place and at that time. You got with them and you were expected to carry a child, and you inquired a magician or a witch or maybe even a priest or maybe all of them, and you asked to have a child because you were expected to and because probably you also wanted to, but I'm getting more like you were expected to. So in this lifetime also it could be that you have interesting feelings about having kids. Maybe you really want them or you don't want them at all. It's like, one extreme to another extreme. So yeah, but I'm seeing that you were expected and you were asked for to have a child because it was needed, because you needed to create legacy. Okay. In your past lifetime, you had a very dual nature, and maybe even though you got rich and you got, taken up there to the castle, to the tower, beautiful golden tower, you still cared more for the people that are down there, who are living life freely, because I'm sensing that maybe you thought that, it could also be, and now I'm seeing this, that you were forced almost to marrying someone in high power. Maybe you were very beautiful because we have beauty here. You were asked to, required or demanded even, to marry someone that you didn't care for, and then this is how you got rich. But overall, what I'm seeing, that when you were living in that castle, when you were having all of that abundance and all of that gold, you were still thinking about those wild, almost like days and free ways of doing things when you didn't really needed to answer for anything in regards of, you weren't expected to be someone or to act some way. I'm sensing you were missing this freeness and this wildness of life and of nature, because there is feeling of missing what is really important, missing of what's really true to your nature. I'm also seeing that you could be the one who kind of went against authority at certain point. Maybe you were tired of living, between those castle walls and seeing how much you and your husband and your husband's family maybe have, and other people are struggling. So it seems like that you actually could, like, you took all the gold from your palace and you gave it to people who needed it more. Yeah. Okay. It's interesting that clarity card is reversed. there were things that you didn't see for what they are, and this cloudness, this fog, could be transferred to this lifetime as well when it comes to close relationships or your kids, if you have kids, or when you will have kids, if you choose to. Again, one extreme to another. So this cloudness, this fog can be in regards of that, because I'm also sensing that kid that you had or you tried to had, it kind of turned against you, almost like there is not really good energy coming from that. Sorry, I'm just looking at the card. Sorry for the silence. I feel like you have left your soulmate, or you kind of interrupted by this marriage that you either thought you want or you were forced to go into. You were kind of denied ability and possibility to actually be with the soul that is truly meant for you and is truly good for you. It could be that it was your choice. You could have walked away, but you chose to stay. And this is why also we have this Two of Swords in this lifetime, representing your inner struggles, representing your need to always have balance between what you want yourself and what others want from you. And also there is a need to balance feminine and masculine energies. With the Empress here, with the Beauty here, I'm sensing that you are very, very beautiful. You're quite sensual. You have femininity to you. You have this feeling that maybe you would be a good mother, maybe you are very compassionate and kind, or you have a certain feeling that you are very authoritative and you could be good leader to those who seek guidance, like children. There is this emphasis on children for some reason. I feel like you don't really connect with these spirit guides, these energies, these spirits. They might not be your actual spirit guides, that you interact with day to day or very often, but these are the spirits that are talking about your past lifetime, one of your past lifetimes. It seems like you don't really interact with them, you don't really listen to them, even though they often trying to guide you, especially when it comes to manifesting things, when it comes to relationships. But for some reason you are kind of blocking their energy and you're not really wanting to accept their guidance. And look, there is this moon reversed, energy, psychic abilities, understanding of how everything goes, taking care of yourself as well, merging earth and spirit, merging how you feel and how you react. And we have also this clarity card also reversed. So if we would just get them upright, just looking at these two cards, intuition, getting in touch with your inner self and with your heart would give you this clarity. It would have given you in past lifetime, and it would be that way in this lifetime as well. Maybe you've denied this beauty yourself. Maybe you don't see how unique and wonderful you are. Or maybe you are running from it. It's kind of it's time to stop doing that. Also, there is a need to have a good balance of kind of sharing control, because I'm seeing another possibility of extreme, like always depending on someone, being a little bit codependent and always doing everything yourself and refusing any help. Both of these ways are not healthy and not good. Okay, let's see what crystal balls have to tell. Let's get a few more. Okay. Okay, so we have Shungite, 2 of them. We have black onyx, white onyx. We have parasite, and we have aquamarine. Okay. So with all of these black stones, black crystal beads, I'm really drawn to this black color, and I feel like I'm drawn to it because in your past lifetime, in this particular one that we are picking up on, there were a lot of darkness, there were a lot of shadows, there were a lot of things that were hidden, that were been untold, and things that haven't been expressed. This is aquamarine, which represents throat chakra, which represents speaking, expressing yourself, communicating. It seems like there were inability to truly follow the light and follow this path of staying true to yourself and staying true to even your purpose and how you want your life to turn. I'm also sensing what I saw with group number 1, that you needed some sort of protection, and maybe you haven't gotten that, or at least not in a way that you really needed. And I don't know why I just thought about it, but like these 3 beads, it's like they're forming a family, and these 4 fell at once, and it's like you were the kind of black sheep at that place where you were in. You kind of didn't fit in, not just because of your upbringing, not because you came from poor situation and kind of gotten yourself with riches. No, it just was because you had light in you, you had beauty, inner beauty in you, and others, those people around you, that environment, didn't really appreciate that. They saw your cracks, even if you hadn't had any, they would create some just to pick on that later. Though you had someone who protected you, and I feel like this is one of the spirit, or I'm still thinking that these are 2 entities, 2 spirits. So you had someone who at that time were human and protected you the best way they could. Okay, group number 2, I think that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye. Okay, group number 3, or rose quartz. Okay, group number 3. So we have destiny, we have safe travel, we have 10 of swords, we have ace of cups, we have 4 of wands, we have Rapa Nui, we have Denali, we have Nematona, sacred space, we have humor, we have 9 of swords, 3 of wands, and 10 of cups. So I'm actually getting a few messages, so I'm not sure how everything will play out here, but just go with me. One thing that I'm seeing in your past life, and what you were in it, is that actually you were energy. And I don't even know myself how to explain it, but I'm seeing you being energy. So, and it's not like even other planet being, or someone supernatural, but it's like you were energy. The other thing that I'm seeing is that you were someone who either were very in contact and in touch with supernatural beings, or you had a side to you that was supernatural. The spirit guides that come through to talk about all of this, to talk about your past life, actually someone from your family line, and that I find it very interesting, especially if you were like energy. But everyone has a certain tribe and a family, but overall I'm sensing that this was someone who was a family or someone who was very close, but I'm getting more family in this past lifetime of yours, but also continue it to be your family member through the lifetimes, through the ages. And even in this lifetime that you are currently living, this could have been someone who had been in your life for a very short period alive, and then they passed on, or this was maybe your grandmother's or grandfather's mother or father, and but still someone who is quite close to you and quite familiar. But for mostly, the strongest energy that I'm feeling is actually that you met this energy, this spirit in this lifetime as well, but now they are past and now they are watching over you. And I'm also like getting like they're singing like lullabies to you, and that could be an actual singing lullabies in this lifetime or in that past lifetime, or you might sometimes hear the music, or you dream of a certain music and certain words being sang to you, and this is actually them. I'm seeing that they are watching over you, and they have been doing that since that lifetime, since that beginning when you were just energy, and then when you started living your life as human and at times supernatural, half to supernatural being. This is clearly someone who is very close to you and has always been the spirit. They're watching over you. They have eye on you, and they protecting you. They looking that you would not kind of stray from your destiny. They keeping you safe in your travels. Yeah. Actually, you could be very in tune with water energy in this lifetime, and that comes from your past lifetimes. You could be attracted to seas or lakes or rivers. You might actually be good at talking up water. I don't know what is the right term, but like changing water structure, with your intentions, with your voice, with your touch even. You could be good at that. I saw that you lived somewhere when there were not a lot of people, and where there were not a lot of overall civilization. I'm overall getting more ancient energies, so maybe I just picking up on that. This is one of your past lifetimes. This is not your last lifetime. Let me be clear. So yeah, I'm seeing that you lived somewhere where there were not a lot of overall civilization, and this is why because this is why in this lifetime you might find that you have a lot of people, too much people around you. You miss those days, you miss that time when there were clear, spaces, when there were clear sky, when there were clear air overall. You might actually be someone who really suffocates from air pollution, because I'm sensing here this energy of clean air, clean water. So yeah, you might struggle with nowadays pollution a lot. You probably lived also somewhere near water and somewhere near mountains. Um, could be that you lived where winter happens, like mountains with snow. Again, I'm sensing that you possess some sort of supernatural abilities, or you had a certain, you have been in certain way in touch with them. Because of all the ways that you remember you once lived, even though you have lived other past lifetimes after this one, you still feel again the need to have quiet time very often, and it's very important for you to do so. Even if you're not practicing that, maybe start doing so, because the creation of that sacred space, connecting with the divine, will really bring you to that core energy that you once were, and that will help you heal and help you to become whole like nothing ever could. I'm sensing a little bit of anxiety in this lifetime, and I'm not sure why. Maybe again, just having too much things around you, too much noise happening in your life, but you need to look more like broadly. You need to see all of the doors that are open to you and walk through them very fiercely, because you have fierceness in you, you have confidence in you. You sometimes just need to remember that and awaken that. You might be called to travel. We have Three of Wands and we have safe travel. You might maybe a call to travel, to visit some foreign places, some sacred places, and to kind of draw wisdom from them, energy from them, and then share that knowledge with other people. You're always protected. This is the strongest energy I'm getting overall, that you are protected, and you will be protected throughout your lifetime. You will be protected and guided to find your true life's mission. Even if you don't know what it is yet, you will be shown signs, you will be shown and sent messages. I'm also sensing a little bit of angelic energy, so maybe you also have one of the archangels guiding you and having them by your side, or maybe even a few. So yeah, definitely that. I'm also sensing that the spirit, this family line member, this person that has always been in your life through the lifetimes, they are sending you a lot of warmth. They are sending you not just protection, they're not just keeping an eye on you, but they're also inspiring you often. They're sending you inspirational dreams. They're sending you even sometimes prophetic dreams. But overall, they are inspiring you. They kind of boosting your creativity. They boosting your love to do something. They boosting your love for the world, for people even. And actually you could be very talented at something in regards of, you could have a talent, creative talent, that in some way, I don't know how, could benefit overall humanity, not just you, or not just, your, would not be just appreciated by your family or your friends, but overall would be somehow beneficial to humanity. With the humor card, I'm sensing that you need to kind of lighten up a little bit. And it makes sense with this Nine of Swords. You are a little bit tense. You maybe put too much on your shoulders. Maybe you kind of overthink things and get into this almost like paralyzing, analytic paralyzing state. And you need to try maybe meditating, and this spirit, they trying to help you with that. With the Ten of Swords, I'm clearly seeing that they're trying to help you with that. They're trying to help you to find a direction that is best for you. They're trying to teach you to be patient and just to kind of sometimes relax and laugh at things. And maybe when you are sad, or when you don't know what to do, or you're feeling anxious, or maybe even when you're having like panic attack, I'm hoping that you don't, but if you do, they might try to somehow make you laugh in your head. Maybe you get like funny thought. I know that when you're having a panic attack, you really not getting funny thoughts in your mind, but something before or even after could happen, like a happy thought, or you would hear a joke somewhere near, and this is their way of trying to help you to go through that. This is their way trying to lighten your heart and kind of protecting your happiness and protecting your peace. I'm also sensing that not in this lifetime you might travel a lot, or you might be find later on in life inspired to travel a lot, but also you have traveled a lot in your past lifetime as well. And this might not be that you always were traveling, that you always were looking for new places, but I'm sensing more like you needed to go from one, from place A to place B, and but that journey, that travel was very, very long and exhausting, and you kind of encountered a lot of things in that journey. You went through a lot. I'm also sensing that in this lifetime it's very important for you to find what makes you happy, and overall find emotional fulfillment. Have that self-love, not just in connections, find that fulfillment, but have self-love to yourself. Have that loving nature, kind nature towards self. It could be also, now when I'm looking at these cards, it could be that this spirit is actually someone who is your soulmate, someone who at a certain point maybe was a romantic interest, but because it did not work out or something might happen, they reincarnated and became like your family. I know that sounds very weird and very strange, but this is something there. Yeah, I think that's quite it. Let's see crystal beads, what they have to tell me. I'm getting from this card like mermaid. Maybe you're a mermaid. Okay. We have moonstone, we have aquamarine, we have moss agate, and we have rutile quartz. Okay, so with the moonstone here, definitely intuition, psychic abilities. I even see moonstone with the destiny, like following your heart, following your intuition, following your true nature, following your purpose. So that is definitely here for you in this lifetime. From the very first, breath that you took, from the very first moment of existence, everything that went in your life were leading towards something big, towards something amazing, and that shows with this destiny card and with all of the cards really. With aquamarine, I'm sensing that you actually be good at communicating, and that makes sense to you maybe traveling somewhere to gather the knowledge and then spread it to the world. Or if you feel like you are not very good at communicating and maybe telling stories or sharing wisdom, you should try practicing that and maybe work with this stone, and it might help you. Moss agate, it's good stone even for travel. It's connecting you to the nature, it's connecting you to the foundation of what it really is here, something that you can touch and something that you can appreciate, and that is quite beautiful. This also gives quite a good vitality and good strength, good health. And with the rutile quartz, I'm sensing that you possess quite a lot of abundance in you, not just material, but the doors for you to gather abundance and prosperity is always open. And also you should never forget to laugh at certain things. I'm also sensing with rutile quartz that you should, even when the days are bad, when things are not going well, you should look for silver linings, because you will always find them. The connection to nature is very strong here, and connection to the moon actually, and water. You probably are the person who would always be safer when traveling on water rather than just, traveling by planes or cars. But this is maybe just for a few people. Okay, group number 3 or rose quartz. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye. Okay, group number 4 or satellite. Okay, group number 4. So these are your cards, and I'm actually picking quite on a few interesting and very interesting things. So the cards that you have are confidence, call or judgment, 7 of water or 7 of cups, 4 of swords, king of pentacles, at this gut. I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing that wrongly. At this gach. I think that's it. Chichen Itza. Okay, these names, I'm sorry. Sedna, infinite supply, prosperity, Four of Wands, Four of Pentacles, Five of Cups. So actually the very first thing that I'm seeing is 2 lifetimes, and these are 2 lifetimes because you started one lifetime, I'm seeing, but it didn't last. You were transformed again into energy very quickly. Your soul left the world, and then you were reincarnated like right away into the next lifetime. I don't know if maybe there was a mistake for you to reincarnating in that first one, but universe and your soul never really makes mistakes, so getting more like something happened in that place where you were reincarnated, where that lifetime started, maybe a war or some climate disaster, and then you were again kind of tossed from this planet and you then reincarnated once more. So the spirit guides that I'm picking up on are actually quite a few different ones. One is a spirit that speaks about that lifetime that you left very soon, and this is that lifetime's father or grandparent, and they even to this day are quite protective of you. I feel they protect you at times, and especially if it comes to fire, they will appear to protect you then, or when it's something related to heat or even earthquakes. Yeah, they will protect you then, and also when you are in forests, I feel like they will protect you then. The other spirits that I'm picking up are, I'm feeling a little bit in angelic energy, but mostly I'm getting all sorts of beings, and I know that sounds weird, but it's like a lot of weird beings, and not just weird, but just beings, supernatural beings are attracted to you and are protecting you from your past lifetime. You probably have been very in tune with the universe and in tune with your environment, and you saw all of the different energies and all of the different supernatural beings, deities, goddess and goddesses, and that is why they are attracted to you. They, to this day, they still protect you because you saw them and you admired them in a way. I'm seeing periods Greek, a little bit of Egypt, and with the second lifetime I'm seeing Aztec, I hope I pronounced that right, and also a little bit, I'm hearing India, so could be that, but overall again ancient times, old times where supernatural things and magic was alive. Not that it's not alive now, but when people believed in it more, when people believe that anything and everything can happen in the universe because there's no really limits, and I feel like you believe that there are no limits, and having that belief, even when something a little bit horrible happened at that time, you still continue it with that belief, you still continue it with that confidence, and you to this day at certain level feel and know that universe gives you infinite supply. It gives you everything that you need and everything that you want until those needs and wants are coming from the right place. They are not damaging anyone else. I'm sensing that from this lifetime or these 2 lifetimes, there is this understanding that you can be prosperous and you can abundant, but also that everything is fragile in a way, and that you should always be grateful for what you have and take what you are given at that time and appreciate it. And if you lose something, you move on from that. I'm sensing that you are quite wealthy, but not just in material way, or not in material way overall. I feel like you are quite good at understanding of, again, the universe and what you want in this lifetime, but there is a little bit of self-protection going on, though you are good with universe, you're good even with things that are unseen, and you are quite understanding of them, of those beings, even maybe in this lifetime as well. But you cannot, okay, you can sometimes be a little bit defensive with actual people. It's like, when there's the saying, I love dogs more than people. So it's, for you, it might be actually, I love supernatural beings more than people, something like that. So yeah, there is this protection going on a little bit here. There is a little bit sadness, but it's absolutely normal. And these spirits, those guides, those beings that are here, they are protecting you and they are guiding you to never forget this prosperity that is in front of you, that you can always take in and use it. And I'm also seeing that you are good at connecting or understanding all of the elements, and that understanding, that being in flow with all of the being in flow with all of the energies and elements actually gives you a lot of power and a lot of even confidence in some way. And I know that sounds maybe strange. How could being in touch and in flow with elements, air, water, fire, earth, give you confidence? But this is because you are such an old soul, having that balance, having that understanding, having that harmony, and being true, and not true, but being in touch with those elements. I don't know how other else to say it. Gives you feeling of being whole, and gives you feeling of being at home, even because the universe is your home. I'm also sensing that I said it, this will be strange pile. So for some of you, you were actually also once an angel, and you either decided to reincarnate in one of these lifetimes, or you were forced to do so. So there is this missing of heavens as well, and maybe not really appreciating at times the earth. This is why spirit guides and even angelic beings try to inspire you to feel more abundant and more happy in this lifetime. But overall, I'm sensing a lot of different beings and a lot of different energies, like people, like ancestors, angelic energies, supernatural beings like fairies. Yeah. Greek culture, Egypt culture could be very familiar to you. I'm also getting that for some of you, you might actually want to, or you dreamed about different planets as well. I'm not seeing that you live there, but maybe I'm not seeing this. But from these cards, I'm not seeing that, but I'm kind of getting that you want that, or you feel like you lived there sometime before. It could be, but we have cards for this particular lifetime that we're picking up on. So yeah, but there is also some thoughts and energies on other planets. The confidence overall is your greatest power that you kind of have from your past lifetimes, and you should use it because it can open so many doors and help you to have so much more prosperity than you have had until now. I don't know if I'm seeing anything else, group number 4. Make sure you don't close off yourself in this lifetime and don't start to hoard things. Don't hoard money, don't hoard supplies, because in your true nature, in your true core, you know that the universe has infinite supply. So try to remember that, otherwise your foundation won't get more stable, it will get more shaky. Okay, let's see your crystal beads, what they have to tell you about your past lifetime. Okay, group number 4, satellite. Let's see it. One more. Okay. So we have carnelian, we have jade, but it's colored jade. We have rutile quartz, we have quartzite, and we have mosaic. Because these two stones, these beads, this is colored jade and this is rosite, and it looks like I forgot the name. Turquoise, yes. They kind of look. One is colored, one looks like something else. These two gives me impression that in this past lifetime you were pretending a little bit to be someone who you're not, or you didn't want to be in that place that you were, and this falls back to maybe fallen angel situation, or just overall not succeeding at this first attempt to reincarnate or something. But there is this energy of not feeling at the right time, at the right place, and this could transfer to this lifetime as well. Sometimes maybe you sometimes feel like a fraud, even though you're doing something that you really know how to do, or you're feeling like out of place a lot, even though this is the right place for you and you can be abundant and prosperous and happy there. But overall, with the carnelian, I'm kind of sensing that you have a lot of passion within yourself, a lot of fire, but you repress it sometimes. With rutile quartz, again, there are so much depth to you. There are those shimmering lines to you that you sometimes mask and hide, and kind of should let people to see them because they are beautiful. I might be mistaken, but I think I read somewhere that working quartz is actually those lines that shimmering lines that um, it has captured angels' hairs, I think. So yeah, again, to that we're getting towards the angelic energy, and most likely taking care of your health, being more aware of your health. Maybe you haven't done that enough in your past lifetime, and now you should. And overall, getting more in touch with nature, again, all of those elements, you should really do that, because that helps you to overcome any negative feeling that might rise in you, and maybe even some sadness, and some feeling that you maybe feel like you're losing hope and there is no way. Then when you connect with nature, when you connect with all of those spirits that are trying to guide you, and I feel like also maybe you have quite a few animal spirits guiding you as well. So then you turn to that more positive, more light side when you see that universe is infinite and the prosperity is infinite as well. Okay, group number 4, I think that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Stay healthy and safe, everyone. Bye.